Live from NPR News, I'm Corva Coleman. Dr. Anthony Fauci is scheduled to appear before a House committee today. Fauci helped oversee the federal government's response to COVID-19, and he served as chief medical advisor to President Biden before retiring. As NPR's Jeff Brumfield reports, the House committee is investigating the origins of the coronavirus.
House Republicans have been investigating grants, emails, and connections between government scientists and an organization called EcoHealth Alliance, which was working in China when the pandemic began. Earlier this month, the Biden administration suspended EcoHealth's funding because of grant irregularities found by the committee. Fauci will likely get a lot of pointed questions about any connections he had to EcoHealth, but many scientists say these lawmakers are looking at the wrong thing. Michael Warby is an expert in virus origins at the University of Arizona.
This select subcommittee could have used its powers to actually try to understand the scientific evidence.
He says probing old grant applications is unlikely to show how the pandemic actually began. Jeff Brumfield, NPR News.
Former President Donald Trump says he could face jail time or house arrest following his criminal fraud convictions in New York last week and would be okay with it. But in an interview airing on Fox News yesterday, Trump warned his supporters could reach a, quote, breaking point. He did not explain. House Speaker Mike Johnson says Republican lawmakers on the House Judiciary Committee plan to review all the criminal cases against Trump.
The purpose of the hearing is to investigate what these prosecutors are doing at the state and federal level to use politics, political retribution in the court system to go after political opponents of federal officials like Donald Trump. That's a really important thing for us to delve into, and we're going to look at Special Counsel Jack Smith, who we believe is abusing his authority as well.
House Speaker Mike Johnson spoke on Fox News Sunday. Hunter Biden goes on trial today in Delaware on federal firearm charges. President Biden's son is accused of lying about his illegal drug use when he bought a gun 6 years ago. NPR's Ryan Lucas reports.
The case centers around a Colt revolver Hunter Biden purchased in October of 2018. Prosecutors say Biden lied about his illegal drug use on a background check form he filled out when buying the gun. He faces 2 counts of making false statements and 1 count of illegal possession of a firearm by a drug user or addict. The case was brought by Justice Department Special Counsel David Weiss. The trial in Delaware comes less than a year after a tentative deal with prosecutors that would have allowed Biden to avoid trial entirely fell apart. Weiss also has separately brought tax charges against the president's son in a case in California. That's scheduled for trial in September. But first, there's a gun case in Delaware, which is expected to last up to 2 weeks. Ryan Lucas, NPR News, Washington.
In India, exit polls suggest that incumbent Prime Minister Narendra Modi is expected to win a historic 3rd term in office. This comes after a marathon 6 weeks of voting across India. Amkar Kadankar reports nearly 1 billion people were eligible to cast a ballot.
Exit polls on the Indian TV news channel show that the alliance led by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Hindu nationalist BJP party is likely to win nearly 2/3 of seats in the lower house of the Indian Parliament. This would give Narendra Modi a 3rd consecutive term, a first for an Indian Prime Minister in 60 years. The opposition India bloc dismissed the results and said they will form a government. A spokesperson for the opposition Congress party also accused the Home Minister Amit Shah of personally calling up dozens of senior polling officers. He says that was to intimidate them ahead of tallying votes. The results of the Indian elections will be declared on 4th June. For NPR News, this is Omkar Khandekar in Mumbai.
Mexico has a new president-elect. It's Claudia Sheinbaum. NPR's Ada Peralta reports Sheinbaum will be Mexico's first female leader in its more than 200-year history.
Preliminary results from Mexico's Electoral Commission show that Claudia Sheinbaum, an environmental engineer turned politician, has an irreversible lead in the polls. On the streets here in the Zócalo, it is being celebrated as a woman breaking the highest of glass ceilings. And this is all happening in a country that is notoriously machista, in a country with one of the highest rates of murder against women. But now, Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo, the 61-year-old former mayor of Mexico City, who has grandparents who escaped the Holocaust, will become the first woman to hold the most powerful office in the country. Ada Peralta, NPR News in the Zócalo in Mexico City.
I'm Corva Coleman, NPR News.